A woman is piloting a small aircraft. Her passengers are a family of 3. The father, or as the pilot calls him, Mr. Taylor, is in the co-pilot seat up front, and the mother is at the back with their young son. They are experiencing turbulence due to sudden bad weather, making the little boy nervous. The pilot assures them that they will reach land in about 15 minutes. The little boy is holding a book called Terror in Time. According to his mother, the boy is very imaginative and believes in supernatural and terrifying creatures. The boy starts hyperventilating and seems to be looking at something. His parents immediately show concern and follow the boy's gaze. All of a sudden, their plane crashes into something and the passengers go crashing down. Many years have passed since the incident, and the pilot's daughter, Sarah, hides in a cubicle looking at her old pictures with her mom. She is now a young woman and a pilot just like her mother. She receives a phone call from her dad, checking up on her before her trip. She and her friends plan to go to a concert, and she will be flying them there. Sarah goes out to the small runway, where the plane they will be using is parked. Her best friend Mel is playing around with her boyfriend, Sal. Soon enough, Sarah's cousin, Corey, arrives in his car. He and Mel make small talk, and there seems to be some awkward tension between them. Finally, Sarah's boyfriend, Bruce, arrives, and the group is finally complete. They all excitedly walk to the plane, except for Bruce, who seems to be anxious about flying. The 3 settle inside the plane as Sarah checks up on her boyfriend. After all is set, they enter the plane and make themselves comfortable. Bruce is sitting beside Sarah on the co-pilot seat, while the rest are on the passenger seats behind them. They are not aware that there is a bolt on the plane that seems to be loose. Sarah focuses on operating the plane. Mel takes some videos for a while, then the 3 people in the passenger seats have some lively and heated conversation, mostly because of Sal being insensitive. Bruce is visibly tense in the front seat. He asks Sarah all about her flight experience. Sarah answers him reassuringly, but as his questions keep coming, she starts getting slightly irritated and asks him to drop it. It is going to be a long flight, so they have to entertain themselves. Mel starts filming again as Corey plays the guitar. She starts asking him about someone he likes and whether they know who it is. Corey hints at it vaguely, saying that she has a boyfriend. This kills the mood, and it becomes awkward between the 3 of them in the passenger seats. Sarah can now relax when they are finally stable in the air. Bruce wants to give her his gift. The 3 at the back are intrigued and ask him about it. When they find out that it is a comic book, they start teasing him about it. Sarah playfully tells them that Bruce cannot deal with them right now because he is flying the plane, and she jokingly puts his hand on the controls. Mel and Sal start panicking, but Corey assures them that Sarah knows what she is doing. Sarah actually lets Bruce take control of the plane and willingly mentors him. The plane suddenly shakes and loses altitude, making Bruce panic so badly. The 3 at the back start panicking as well and urge Sarah to take control. However, Sarah is being stubborn and assures Bruce that he can fly it. He just needs to relax. The plane continues going down, and the loose bolt starts unscrewing without their knowledge, and finally unfastens. The plane ascends again and the group relaxes. Triggered by their near accident, Sal forcibly takes the comic book and starts making fun of Bruce. Everyone tries to stop him, but he is too pissed off to listen to reason. Corey apologetically returns the comic book to Bruce, and everyone remains silent. Up ahead, weather clouds block their way. Sarah flies the plane higher to avoid turbulence. But as the plane ascends, the unfastened bolt gets stuck on the plane's mechanism. Sarah tries leveling off the plane, but immediately realizes that it is not slowing the ascent or going down. The stuck bolt prevents her from doing so. The group starts panicking as she tells them that something might be stuck in the plane's elevator. Sarah contacts ground support to inform them of their situation and does her best to remedy the situation. They are getting closer and closer to a storm cloud up ahead. Sarah tries to turn the plane around to avoid the storm cloud, but it suddenly gets bigger, covering up the whole horizon. Their plane gets swallowed up, and they are instantly shrouded with darkness and occasional lightning. Sarah tries to contact land support again as their plane continues to ascend. She tries contacting other signals several times, but she cannot reach anyone. Everyone is scared and anxious about their situation. Sal starts blaming Bruce and questions Sarah's credentials. He becomes agitated and insists that she get them out of there. Sarah instructs them to throw away their things to reduce the weight of the plane. Sal supports Corey as they open the hatch to throw their things away. He holds him tight so he will not fall down as Corey throws out their bags. Sal suddenly sees a huge figure in the distance and backs away, stunned. They close the hatch, but their plan made little to no difference. Beginning to lose all hope, Corey asks Sarah how much time they have left. She faces her friends teary-eyed and says that they have less than an hour before the plane runs out of gas. Sal proposes an idea to draw straws, and whoever wins gets the parachute. Sarah thinks it's a bad idea since they are disoriented about the height of their plane. Corey ignores her and offers Mel the parachute. This agitates Sal, and he insists that they should just draw straws. Corey calls him out that he does not want to save his girlfriend. Sal senses that Corey is really into Mel. He rushes him, and in a second, he is on top of Corey, throwing punches. Mel breaks it off, but not for long. The two are at each other's throats again. Sarah snaps and takes command of the group. Everyone is silent, when suddenly, Bruce starts panicking again. He repeatedly insists that they have to get down and forcibly takes control of the plane for himself, causing the plane to shake violently. Everyone starts panicking until Sal pulls him away from his seat and chokes him, causing him to pass out. He assures Sarah that Bruce is still breathing. Corey decides that it is best to tie Bruce up, so he would not try to control the plane again when he has a panic attack. Sarah tells the group that soon enough, there will be less and less oxygen. Corey asks if they could do something to remove the jam from the elevator. She tells him that somebody has to go outside the plane and do it manually. Mel is starting to get a headache from the lack of oxygen. Corey makes up his mind that he will be the one to unjam the tail. Sarah is against it, but he insists on doing something rather than just waiting for the end. Mel offers him the parachute, but he says it will just slow him down. Sal still despises him, but helps him nonetheless. He takes the rope and uses it to secure Corey. Corey opens the hatch, and he is immediately blown off by the winds. The tail is still too far, so he decides to jump to go further. Sal holds onto the rope tightly as Corey makes his way to the tail. After several attempts, Corey is able to unjam the elevator, and Sarah regains control. Sal sees the dark object behind Corey. He reaches out to him, but because of the humidity, their grip slips, causing Corey to plummet down. Sal has no other choice but to cut the rope, or he will be taken down with him. They are all emotional after Corey's demise, but Sarah does her best to get the plane down. Nobody talks to anyone for a long time. Bruce wakes up, disoriented. He is confused about why he is tied down, and why Corey is not on the plane. Mel starts accusing Sal that he intentionally let Corey perish. Sal says that she did not help him pull Corey up. Instead, she is still filming during a dire situation. Sarah stops them and explains to Bruce what happened to Corey. Sal insists that he really saw something out there in the skies. Bruce asks how much longer they will keep him tied up. Sarah confronts him and says that they can't trust him. He also lied to them, saying that his parents passed away in a car crash, but Sarah realized that they probably had an incident with a plane. She calls Mel to the co-pilot seat to keep watch, before she moves to the back to furiously confront Bruce. He confesses that he knew Sarah's mother. He further explains that he was one of the passengers during the flight incident her mother had. We see a flashback of the young Bruce in the back of the small aircraft Sarah's mother is piloting. Even though the aircraft is already obliterated to pieces after they took a hit, Bruce is able to remain seated on his chair because of his seatbelt. He miraculously survived with half of his bones broken. It took him 6 months in the hospital to be able to walk again. He knew who Sarah was when he met her, but decided to hide it, thinking that it might freak her out. Sarah refuses to believe him, and thinks that he is making things up because he wants to keep their relationship. This agitates Bruce, saying that her mom is the reason that his parents had the accident, and it is her fault that his life turned the way it did. Still, he insists that they are meant to be together, and that he loves her. She returns to the pilot's seat, and tries contacting land support again. But she is still not getting a response. She hears shrieking noises, which confuse her. It is nothing like she has ever heard before. She turns the speaker on to let the others hear it and help her figure it out. Sal immediately knows that it is the thing he saw earlier. Sarah tries to rationalize it, but he is firm that something wrong is going on. They regain control of the plane, but it has been so long and they are still not out of the darkness, nor can they see any land. Mel suggests that maybe they are just in a simulation or an experiment. Maybe they never really left the airport or something, just to try and make sense of the situation. The group gets into a heated argument that breaks off with Sal deciding just to drink it out. Not 1 second after Sarah looks back to the front, they collide with a giant creature's mouth, with rows of teeth that cover the whole front window. Sarah wakes up disoriented after she passed out from their crash with the monster. She does her best to regain control of the plane as it spirals down. She successfully levels the plane, but Mel is already losing hope. They hear the shrieking around them and suddenly feel that something landed on top of the plane. This causes the plane to shake, and the creature leaves. Mel drops to the floor without a pulse. Sal realizes that she overdosed on pills. Bruce is able to release himself from his ropes and immediately performs CPR. Mel regains a pulse and throws up. Sal comforts her and apologizes for his behavior. Bruce scoots to the side and picks up the torn page from his comic book. It shows a woman sitting in front of a man being abducted by a tentacle. When he looks up at Mel and Sal, a tentacle suddenly breaks through the window and grabs Mel. Sal screams after her and loses his mind. Bruce looks back at his comics and is in disbelief at what he sees. Sal attacks him, thinking that somehow he is responsible for what is happening to them. He opens the hatch and tries to drop Bruce down. Sarah is able to stop him, but he is suddenly grabbed by a tentacle. Sarah grabs his hand, but the opposing force is too strong, causing Sal to plummet down. Sarah sits quietly at the back, blaming herself for what happened. Bruce tells her that it was not her fault. He tells her that this happened before, and it is happening to them again. He tells her that he is the root of the problem. Back then, he saw a plane incident on the cover of a magazine, and he imagined it happening to them, and then it did happen. Sarah cannot believe his claim, and thinks that it is just a coincidence. Bruce shows her the comic book that he brought for her, and it shows everything that has happened to them during their flight. Sarah is in disbelief. He knew that he should not have gotten into that plane in the first place. Whatever he imagines comes true, and it gets especially worse when he is scared. Sarah speeds up the plane as the creature pursues them, but their wing took a hit, and they are going down. She convinces him to make the creature go away by facing his fears. The creature reaches the plane, but Bruce is in a trance. Sarah decides to kiss him at the last second, and the skies suddenly clear up. She contacts the land crew, and this time somebody finally answers. Bruce confronts her that she did not really mean the kiss, and then the skies turn dark again. The creature envelops the plane and grabs Sarah. She encourages him to think back to the accident when he was still a child. It is all avoidable, if only he could think back. The creature lets go of her, and he is able to pull her back to the plane. The plane her mother was piloting suddenly appears before her, but before they crash with each other, they pull away. This saves her mother and Bruce's parents. Her mom is able to land their plane safely as Sarah runs to her. The young Sarah meets the young Bruce, who is a passenger on her mother's plane.